All right, welcome back to the Move Better Project. Talking a little more about hip extension today, glute bridges. The other, talked about the half kneeling hip flexor stretch in another video. That's sort of 1A. 1B is glute bridges in terms of exercises that I've taught the most, that I've given out the most for home exercise programs, exercise programs for people who are trying to get stronger, more fit, whatever. It's an incredible movement, but there's a key thing about this that a lot of people get wrong that I want you to get right if you're someone who I've told to do this exercise. So, here we go. I'm going to get on my back. This position is familiar to a lot of people. I would call this hook lying as a physical therapist, but you can just think of it laying on your back, lower back is pressed into the ground, right? I'm not sitting here with an arched lumbar spine. That negates hip extension. I want to be lower back pressed into the ground. Knees are bent wherever you're comfortable. The closer your feet are to your bottom, the more work. It just changes the angle basically, but play around with it, find out where you're comfortable, okay? So I like to get my feet pretty close to my butt. And then the key to this whole thing is starting with a posterior pelvic tilt. So I'm going to pull my shirt taut so that you can see the surface of my lower back. This is what I want to see, where I'm tilting the pelvis backward, squeezing my glutes, and then one vertebrae at a time is coming up off the mat. That's what we want to see. What I often end up seeing is this kind of thing where my lower back is in an extended position, my pelvis is still tilted forward, my butt is not doing too much of anything here. What is really being overworked is my hamstrings. And that's why I see a lot of people, when we do glute bridges, for the first time, they're like, oh, my hamstrings are cramping. Especially people who are coming in to the clinic for lower back pain. That person's hamstrings have been doing all of their hip extension because their glutes don't work. They're not answering the call when the body asks for hip extension. The glute is not being recruited properly. And that's really the power of this exercise, is bringing the glute, especially gluteus maximus, the big, thick, powerful hip extensor muscle into the fold and letting that muscle do the hip extension. So again, the key to this whole thing working out is that tilt, tucking the tailbone underneath, and then continuing to tuck and trying to lift up. And I'm going slow just to make sure I get it right, as high as I can. If I have a friend or I can do it myself, I should be able to feel my hamstrings should be soft. They should not be contracted. My lower back muscles in here along the side of my spine should not be working hard. If I do this and I keep my lower back extended, my paraspinal muscles here just on either side of the spine are going to be rock hard. My hamstrings are going to be rock hard. And that means that we're substituting, not using glutes. It's called a glute bridge. It's not a hamstring bridge. It's not a lumbar extension bridge. Posterior pelvic tilt, squeeze your glutes, lift up, and maintain that contraction from the glute. And then we come back down. All right? That's how you do a glute bridge. We'll see you next time.